Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So my last video was about my server work life. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'm going to tag it somewhere up here so you can click it and watch it. I realized that a lot of people are interested in serving. I know serving is very popular now, especially on like Instagram and stuff, with bottle service and bottle girls and strippers and things like that. So the industry is like really popping right now, and I think a lot of people are more aware of it. It used to be a point where people felt like serving and bartending and stripping, it wasn't a job. But now, since we have a lot of social media and things, and we're seeing the way the strippers and servers and bartenders are living, it's becoming like a sought after position. I wanted to give you guys some tips if you want to serve, or you're getting into serving, or you're new to serving. I want to give you guys some tips that people don't really tell you about serving that you need to know. If you guys want to see this video, then keep watching. Alright, so my first tip is, when you're training, you're going to be given a lot of information to take in. Especially if you've never done it before, you're going to be given a lot of information to take in. What you want to learn is only what you need to know. Don't cram your brain with everything that your trainer is telling you. Personally, the things that I need to know when starting a new job, whether I'm serving, bartending, whatever the case may be, I need to know where the exits are. I need to know the POS system. I need to know what time I clock in, what time I clock out, how breaks work. Yeah, basically, that's it. A lot of times, especially in a casino, they're going to try to train you on every single alcohol they have, every whiskey, every vodka, every tequila, all of those things. But I'm telling you, those are things that you do not need to know, and don't take up space in your mind trying to remember all of those things, because once you start serving, you realize that people typically order the same thing, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to be very basic. It's going to be rum and cokes, vodka sodas, Tito sodas, Hennessy, Patron. You won't need to know every alcohol there is in the world to serve. My second tip is be confident. If you are serving a customer and they think that you don't know what you're talking about, they're gonna treat you like you don't know what you're talking about. A lot of times customers are gonna try to get over all the time, especially with alcohol. They're gonna try to get over. They're gonna say they pour was short. They're gonna say they paid too much. They're gonna say they don't taste the alcohol. They're gonna say anything to try to get over on the system. And if you don't know what you're talking about, if you sound iffy, if someone asks you what type of whiskeys you have, and you tell them, well, I don't know, I don't really know any whiskeys, they're gonna treat you like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, like, you know, and your tip is gonna look that way. All right, so here's an example of what I mean. So let's say someone orders Hennessy, right? And they say, well, how much is the Hennessy? And you say, I'm not sure. Let me check, I'm not sure, right? When you bring the Hennessy back and you say, well, the Hennessy is $11. And what if they say, and people, this is going to happen often, people are going to say, well, no, it's not $11, because last time I was here I paid $8. And you're going to say, no, it's 11. And then they're going to say, well, no, I don't want it then, because I paid 8 last time. And then and then it creates this whole thing. When someone asks how much the Hennessy is, and you can play up on something, pay attention to what they're wearing, pay attention to what they're doing, pay attention to their personalities or whatever the case may be, and say, well, I mean, you got an iPhone 11, you shouldn't be worried about the price of Hennessy. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna laugh, you're gonna pour the shot, and they're gonna pay for it, whatever the price was. Number 3, don't always go home early. This is one of my favorites, because a lot of times when you go to work, you're ready to go home. Home is your favorite place when you're at work, but then when you're home, your favorite place is outside. A lot of times, I know in a strip club, the stripper rule is kind of stay your whole shift, because it could get popping later. That's also the same rule with like serving. You never, ever, ever, ever know who you're going to run into, because honestly, when you're serving, when you're stripping, when you're in the industry in general, all you have to do is run into one person. One person can change your night. Just one person. And you never know what moment you're going to run into them. And I say, if you can, most of the time, stay your whole shift. It's really not that bad. Serving is like bare minimum of working, to be honest. It's just a lot of people engagement, but other than that, bare minimum of actually physically working. So I mean, it's really not that bad. Just stay your whole shift and make the money you can. And if you don't make money that night, we all know we have bad nights. We have bad nights, we have good nights. Number 4 is always acknowledge the woman. I feel like this is a well-known, you know, tip, but most of the time, if a man is with a woman, especially if they're younger, I always acknowledge the woman. I always say to pump up the woman, compliment the woman, talk to the woman, engage with her, because if she's in his pockets, she's gonna get in his pockets for you. But if you try to get directly in his pockets without acknowledging her, then she's the one that's in his pockets, and she's gonna take away from what you get. I've also had women who are hitting on me, not the man. The woman is like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Oh my, we should, like, do you like girls? We want to take you home. And you're just kind of like, no. But you got to kind of like play into it a little bit. That way you can make your money. So number 6, tip out. Always tip out. Always tip out. I don't care what the situation is. Always tip out. I don't care if you made $10 and you have $1 to tip out. Let the bartender tell you that they don't want the $1. Don't just not tip out. When you tip your bartender out good, they're gonna look out for you. You're gonna get good pours. They're gonna take care of you as far as like, they're gonna be fast with your orders. They're gonna make sure your drinks are good, made well, all the above. And that's what you want when you serve an alcohol. You don't want the bartender who knows that you never tip out, and you go and you order a shot of tequila and your tequila is this big, and you say, can you pour more? And they say, oh no, that's the measured pour. And you're gonna be like, but really it's because you don't tip out. Whereas if you tip your bartender out, they're gonna look out for you. You're gonna get pours for your shots. So tip your bartender out. It's a well-oiled machine. Like I said, I've worked with girls who do not tip out, or tip out little bits of money when they've made lots of money. I've worked with girls who've made $400 in a night and they tip out $10. Don't do that. Don't be that person, because it's rude and it's inconsiderate, and it's just like, why do you want to be that person? So always, 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 always tip out. And if for some reason you can't tip out, just let your bartender know, or let your bar back, whatever the case may be, know, like, you know, I wasn't a good night. And 9 times out of 10, the bartender and the bar back and whoever else also know that's not a good night. Don't even worry about tipping me out. You're good. And then it's like, okay, cool. Number 7, keep track of your tips. Keep track of your tips. Because if you don't know the IRS now, you will if you are in a tip-based industry. You definitely gonna get to know the IRS, and they're gonna get to know you really well. So keep track of your tips. I use an app. I'm gonna pop it up right here. The app I use is called Tipsy, and this is what I do to basically keep track of my tips. And I put in what I make every single night. I put in the amount of hours I worked every night. I put in the amount of money I tipped out, and I put in the section that I had, and I make sure I keep track of all of that information daily. That way, if when I need to do my taxes, or even if I had a discrepancy at work, whatever the case may be, I have that information at hand for me. Number 8, be efficient. A lot of people will tell you to be pretty. Be pretty. Being pretty is gonna make you so much money. Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. Listen, I don't care how pretty you are. If you're not efficient, if you can't remember your drinks, if you're slow, if the drinks you bring out are wrong, it's not gonna happen for you. So the main thing you wanna do is be efficient. If you need a notepad to write things down, write things down. Let's say I go past 5 people, 1 person orders tequila, 1 person orders whiskey, 1 person orders water, and 1 person orders coffee. I need to remember that when I go in the back. I can't go in the back and say, oh my God, what did they order? What did they say? It happens a lot to people. I see people do this all the time. I see people make drinks and forget where the drink goes. I knew a girl who was not that pretty. Like, she was not the best looking girl, but she made a lot of money, and she probably made more money than a lot of us that worked at the casino. And it was all off of her personality, all of her efficiency, how fast she was, how much of a hustler she was. And she was like OG veteran server. So yeah, it does not matter your looks really. If you are efficient, you will make money. Number 9, another one of my favorite ones. Do not do mediocre stuff for money. Please don't do mediocre stuff for money. Me personally, I have no issue with anybody doing anything for money. If you want to do that, baby girl, go ahead, live your life. But my advice is do not do it. There's construction going on outside. My advice is do not do it on the clock. It's sad but true, but customers really believe that if you're working for money and you're working for tips the way that you work for tips, then you'll probably do anything for money. And it's not true. It's furthest from the truth. 99.9% of everybody who works in the industry goes to work, make their money, and then go home. I can't tell you how often, how many times in a night, people approach me and say, hey, what time do you get off? You want to go get breakfast? You want to come up to my room? I'll leave you my key. And it's like, no. But you have to know that there is someone somewhere who says, oh yeah, we can go get breakfast, we can go do this. So if you do things for money, if you want to do things for money, get the customer's number while you're at work. Get their number for sure. And then just call them on your days off. Do whatever you want to do on your days off. Just don't do things on the clock, because all of us don't do those things. And to be honest, I'm motherfucking tired of people coming up to me asking me for my coup. No, you can't have it. And last but not least, pay attention to when you are leaving. I always say you never know who is watching. And believe it or not, people count your money. They're paying attention to you working. They know you work every night. They know you make tips. You're leaving with cash. So pay attention when you are leaving. Once you walk out the door, pay attention. Even when you're inside at work, pay attention to the people who are there. I'm gonna give an example, like at the strip club, you have like regular guys that come in the strip club. You have regulars everywhere, but in the strip club, it's kind of like the regulars kind of sit around. They don't really drink or do anything. They just kind of sit and watch, which makes sense because it's a strip club. But it's any other place I've worked, you can't just like come and sit, and you are gonna get moved for a person who's paying and tipping. But in a strip club, no. The people can come in and literally just and it's weird. But I say that to say, let's say we have a Andy. Andy comes in and sits all the time. He knows all of the girls' names. Every time you see him, you're in the club, you're like, Andy, Andy, hey Andy, whatever. Andy this, Andy that. Everybody knows Andy. But Andy is there every night, and let's say when you leave work one night, Andy is by your car. And you feel like, oh, it's just Andy, I'll just go get my car. Like, hey Andy, what are you doing by my car? Pay attention to people like that. I don't care how much you think you know someone or how much of a regular you are, whatever the case may be. You ain't walking me to my car, I'm okay. I'll make it there alone, unless it's security. I say go out with security all the time, but unless it's security, you're not walking me to my car. If you see somebody at your car, go back inside. All those things, they matter. Pay attention to your surroundings and when you're leaving, because people count your money and they know you leave with money and cash. And I know a girl who caught a ride to work by the same person every single day. She caught a ride to work, same person every single day. And one day she left work and he pulled a gun on her and took all of her money and her phone, everything, took everything from her. And it was someone that she knew. So pay attention to your surroundings. Right, so those are 10 important tips I personally feel like a lot of people don't really bring up or talk about, that you will want to know if you are getting into serving. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are enjoying my work related, serving related videos, thumbs up this video so I know and I continue to post them. Like I said, I post work vlogs on TikTok. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. I will catch you guys in my next video. I'm out. Peace.